guess who is back? It's yours truly. And we're doing more Nidorands. And we're going to go for the 43 to 4,500 range before I call it a stream. Either way, we're getting to above half odds. If we need to get there. Could shine this stream, we don't know. I guess there's one way to find out. Also, you might notice that there's music playing in the background. I decided to try something a little different. I think it adds a little bit more to the feel of the hunting. I looked up a DMCA free like Pokemon like lo-fi thing on Spotify. And hopefully it's actually DMCA free. I didn't double check. I'm just kind of trusting the playlist name here. Hope I'm not gonna get smited down by YouTube. But yeah, we're just gonna do some Nidoran encounters. Yeah, and let's hope we get it. That's really it. Because tomorrow, from Monday to Wednesday, I'm gonna have school, so I'm not going to be able to hunt tomorrow, the day after, or the day after that. But I should be back Thursday night to hunt. Assuming I don't make plans or whatever. But I guess we'll see. So if it's not tonight, it's not gonna be until, toward the end of this week. But hey, we're gonna get to above half odds at the very least, which will be good. And yeah, let's have a good time. Have a chill, end of our nights, or it could be afternoon or morning for some of you. I don't know. All right, I'm yapping a lot, and I'm not hunting a lot, so let's change that. My FPS is up. My counter for the Nidorands is up as well. And we're underway. And we're doing this. We go until Nidoran shines, or until about 44 to 4,500 encounters. Oh, well, my chat isn't up. Excuse me. There we go. Chat's up now. This is 3105. Now I can read all the messages that come in, which is handy. What's good, Nick? We just got started. How we doing? I got the Eevee short up. I said I was gonna do it. I got it up. I mean, I had to. I think it's the most iconic hunt I've done so far. give Eevee the respect. I even showed what I evolved it into. I'm going up to about 44 or 4,500 this stream, by the way, so... You think we're gonna get it this stream, or you think it's gonna take a little while longer? Sorry, my mom called my name and then didn't respond. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Hold on. I'm not sure if I counted that last encounter or not, so I'm gonna double check now. That was 31:43. That was 31:44. Okay, yeah, no. I counted all of them. We're good. I was just second guessing myself. Alright, let's continue. Why is my counter not updating? It'll update in a second. Just give it a little bit. Or not. Let me close out of it and reopen it, and then maybe that'll help. There we go. Took a second. Actually, guys, give me 2 seconds. My mom wants me to try on a piece of clothing that she bought me, so this might take a little bit. Sorry about that. I'm back. Like, actually back now. Hoping for an early one so I can at least make some progress. I'm trying to get the Moonstone. Because even if I get the Nidoran, I'm going to need to keep biking back and forth until my in-game mother buys a Moonstone. Which that's going to take a while. I'd be superstitious here, but I'm going to switch to Bayleaf being out because I remember I got my Zubat quickly when my Bayleaf was the first one out. Again, purely superstitious, but you know, it's worth a try. We're almost through our first 100 encounters of the stream. Not too shabby. We're now officially 5,000 encounters from full odds. Let's hope we don't have to get to full odds though. That would be nice. 3,200, there it is. Already through the first 100. I don't know if it's the music or not, but I feel so like mellow right now. I'm just like in like such a chilled out mood. I'm just vibing. So is Fern. Look at Fern doing a little dance. Look at that. Hitting a little jig. I respect it. I'm curious, if I hit this with a razor leaf. Okay, crit does kill. That's what I was trying to confirm. Yeah, let's not do that when we see the shiny. $32, $32. Gotta love a little Twin Leaf Town. Guardian Forest. This music reminds me of walking back and forth in patches of grass, hoping to hit a 5% for a Pikachu. For the blue shiny Nidoran. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh man. Oops. Almost at 3,300. Just getting started with the encounters for this stream now. We may get a small dent in the several hundred encounters we're going to make. In fact, we're going to do over 1,000 encounters, so yeah. Unless we don't have to. I mean, that would be nice as well. All it takes is a shiny blue Nidoran of the male variation, or a shiny purple Nidoran of the female variation. Ideally the male one, but ideally a shiny of the male one. I would not be, I mean, I would not be angry at a shiny female one, but I definitely would be mildly bummed because shiny Nidoqueen is pretty awful. So I'm really hoping it's the male one, but I'll take either. So that like 15 million times, but yeah. I know there are several people traumatized by this theme, Oak's Lab. There's some people that are probably still shiny hunting starters and on the Switch 2 to this day since it dropped on the Switch 2 and Fire Red and Leaf Green. Frickin' Briefcase Simulator. Not even Briefcase Simulator, frickin' Oak's Lab Simulator. Briefcase Simulator is more just Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. We are now a third of the way to 10,000 encounters. God forbid we need to get there in the first place, but we are a third of the way there. Now over a third of the way there. Ooh, feeling kind of drowsy. I don't know why. I didn't do too much today. I almost lost my phone today. I was biking outside, riding around with my nephews, enjoying the beautiful afternoon while my dad was grilling food on our grill. And as I was biking, my phone fell out of my pocket. I didn't even realize, and I had to. My brother went looking for it. He eventually found it, but I was scared. Yeah, it's annoying. Like that, the fear you feel when you think you've lost your phone it's really uncanny. Not really, like, I wouldn't say uncanny because it's not like a death-defying fear. It's more so just like a fuck. Like, what am I gonna do now? Like, I'm gonna have to tell my parents, like that sort of thing. That shit's scary. I would tell your parents, like, hey, I fucking lost my phone. Because you know they're gonna get mad, because that shit costs a lot of money. Someone finds your phone on the side of the street, yeah. Just call it quits. That's another fear. I've had that fear struck into me quite a few times. Of accidentally having my shit stolen. Like, for reference, my school has this big library building. And when I go to school, since I moved between my parents and my brother's house, I have to carry this big bag of clothes with me. And sometimes when I'm leaving the library to go get food or go to like my classes or something, sometimes I'll accidentally leave my big bag of clothes like in the library or whatever. And then I have to run back to the same floor hoping nobody just took that freaking bag and ran. Which granted, it would be more of like it would suck in terms of value because, you know, you're carrying like a week's worth of clothes, like that would be a decent amount of money that I would lose if somebody stole that. But beyond that, it would just be really be inconvenient. Like, imagine like I didn't have clothes for the week. That would be so inconvenient. They could just steal what you own, yeah. Like, stealing clothes is, like, so inconvenient. Like, stealing somebody's clothes that they've already purchased and are carrying on them is, like, the most inconveniencing thing you can do to somebody. It's like if you stole all the HDMI cables out of somebody's house. That shit, that would be enough to set me off. If you go to my house, you don't even have to steal anything crazy. If you just steal the HDMI cables, I'd be pretty upset. Peak rage bait, yeah. You can't even watch. You can barely. It would be so hard to try to watch. I don't think you could watch TV without an HDMI cable. I don't think. You just have to watch everything on your phone. $3,400 and oh my god, I literally just can't type. Keep like missing the delete button on my phone. There we go. Oh, that's an annoying pop-up to get. I thought I cleared that out of Task Manager. I don't know why it popped up again. Alright, should be good now. Very strange. Then take the charger. Oh my god, if you stole my fucking phone charger, I'd be devastated. Absolutely devastated. I would argue this is more annoying than stealing the phone, because at least if you steal the phone, I would get the satisfaction knowing that they wouldn't be able to log into it or use it at all. And if they go to most places to sell it, a lot of places ask you what the passcode is to your phone to make sure that you're not selling a stolen phone. So, I would at least know that if somebody stole my phone, it would at least be inconvenient for them. If they have unless they know how to hack it, then yeah, I guess that would be the one case. But stealing the charger is like, like that. Like you don't even gain anything from that. You just gain making me upset. It's just so ass. Oh my god, why can't I not type? There we go. Ugh, excuse me. I'm gonna take a quick break. Not break, I need to do something. It's gonna take like a couple minutes. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do one encounter though, and I'm not gonna look. So there could be a shiny on stream and I wouldn't know. This is gonna be 34:30. Alright, well, give me 2 seconds. If it'll give me there we go. Alright, we're good. Ah, fuck, I accidentally jumped off the ledge. What the fuck does Lyra want anyways? Alright, well, thanks for that, Lyra. Talking about unknown. me a blue shiny mail. Give me a blue shiny year-end mail, please. Just moving this freaking wire on my desk. It's pissing me off. There we go. What do we think though, Nick? Do you think we're gonna get it this stream? Think it's gonna happen? Still got about 1,000 more encounters to go, so we got time. And plenty of it. Have faith? Alright, man, we'll see. We will see. Ah, damn. Mm-hmm. Said it a million times, but I would be so mad if I got a drowsy. It would piss me off. I'm not even sure if I'd be happy. I'd be like, you know, it'd be interesting, I guess. Like, I'd be like, oh, cool, it's a shiny, but, you know, I'd be mad that it would be a drowsy. What even is drowsy supposed to be? Like an elephant? Like its nose, it has like an elephant-like trunk. So I can't really tell. But Hypno doesn't look like an elephant, so I don't even know. I hate both of them. Either way. Almost at 3,500. I don't think I'm fully over how fast these encounters go. And after EV, like, this is just like, it's like shiny hunting heaven right here, you know? I don't have to sit here for, you know, almost a week to get to numbers like these. Not even. I mean, to be fair, it took me 4 days of EV hunting to hit 4,000 encounters. So this is 3 and a bit streams worth, which is like not even 2 full days of streaming worth of shinies for me. And we're gonna get to 4,500 and that much. Just so nice. And there we go, there's 3,500. I'm getting so sleepy. I gotta stay up. Still got like a little less than 1,000 encounters to do. Come on. That lady has not sung yet. Gotta lock in. You know, despite the fact that the encounters are so fast, this game never fails to remind me the true extent of how rare 1 in 8192 is. Like, the fact that I've done this amount of encounters and I'm still not even halfway there yet to odds is pretty crazy to think about. Get that hoo-hoot off my screen. Bring me a shiny Nidoran game. I think it's about time. I think it's shiny Nidoran time. I encounter 35. Or normal Hypno time, I guess. I guess it's normal Hypno time. Not Hypno, Drowsy. Bleh. Didn't I just pass 3,500? Like already like almost halfway there. Alright. I do hate to do this because I'm sure you all are enjoying the beautiful background music, but I am going to have to turn it off because Mr. iPad Kid Streamer over here does kind of want to watch some YouTube while he hunts. On top of, you know, talking to the few chat messages I get here and there, which is going to require me to mute desktop audio, which means you guys can't listen to music anymore. So, sorry about that. Oh, what's up, Alex? Alright, let me do that real quick. Pull up a YouTube video real quick. Whoa, that was not the intention. Let me, no. I'm just showing a freaking desktop image right there. There we go. Sorry about that. Bro, is the attention span of a goldfish? Yeah. Low key. I don't know. You can only raw dogs so many hunts. Like I raw dogged the entirety of the earlier hunt. I think I've been raw dogging quite a lot of the hunts recently, so you know, I feel like I've earned a little bit of a side video. Let me turn down the volume here. All right, just tell me if you guys can hear the. Tell me if you guys can hear the video that's playing right now. Hopefully it's not cutting into stream. I guess I should listen for myself. Sorry, I like zoned out for like a good like 30 seconds. That was crazy. I like forgot I was streaming. Or you can hear a little time to time, but I imagine you can't hear what it's, you know, saying or anything, which is good enough. If you hear it cut in here and there, but you can't really hear the words or whatever, like I'm just making sure it doesn't like copyright, like or like sorry, I'm just making sure it doesn't cut in so much to where I could, you know, YouTube would detect any sort of copyrighted content through my stream or whatever. All right. Anyways. Alrighty, let's continue. Oh, oops, ran into a freaking wall. Almost at 3,600. Yeah, I'm in the zone now. I'm not sure if I'm in the zone or just zoning out. I guess both. Oh my god, my eyes fucking itching. We're good though. Ooh. Alright, this is 3,600 right here. Yeah, peep that. I'm very excited. Sorry, really weird side note. I'm really excited for when I get to evolve this this Bayleaf. The Mega Shiny Meganium is really good, in my opinion. Some people don't like it. I really like Shiny Meganium. I know I asked this a couple streams ago, but what even is Nidoran? Like, I don't even know what animal it's based on. It looks like a little mole or like an echidna, but can't even tell. Oh, Yama. I don't think I've seen a Yama this stream yet. They are 1 in 100, so they are decently rare. Leaf Loki kind of looks like a pear. I'm realizing like it's got like the same exact shades. It's mad random. I don't know why it's like I'm mentioning that, but just something I noticed because I've been staring at the same Bailey for the last, few hundreds of encounters. Almost at 3,700, by the way. This might be a potential. I mean, granted, we still got, quite a few thousand encounters to get there, but could potentially be another over odds hunt. Who knows? I'll be more confident in making that statement once I get to like, the high 7,000s, or like maybe even just the 7,000s in general. But could get to over odds again. We don't know yet. I gotta skip. Add an ad. We're good now though. Alright, and this is 3,700 encounters now. No shiny yet. Still got about either 700 or 800 more encounters, I'm thinking. I think I'll do 800 more. Keep freaking hitting the Pokemon button. Thought I saw it sparkle out of the corner of my eye for a second. Clearly, I'm just tweaking. Hopefully soon, though. We're gonna hit half odds in, you know, a few hundred encounters, so, you know. God willing, we luck out. I don't want to have to go to above odds again, but, you know, if I have to, I have to. That's sometimes just how luck is. Frickin' hoot hoot, and it's stupid. Bug eyes. Unironically, I think Noctowl should have been a middle stage, and they should have given it a final evo. I think they should have done something similar with, Actually, I would say they should have done something similar to Spearow and Fearow, but it wasn't. Spearow and Fearow weren't really the regional birds, because Pidgey was. Pidgey was more so the stereotypical regional bird of Gen 1. But Hoothoot and Noctowl really should have gotten a final stage beyond Noctowl, I think. Because they're cool Pokemon. I love owls. Could have been done a little bit more justice, though. closer and closer to that 3,800 mark. 4,096 is the big milestone though that we're trying to hit. Unless we don't need to. That would be great. That would be ideal. Alright, that's 3,800. And still no luck. Look, you know, now we're less than 200 away from hitting 4K. You know, it didn't take us too long. It took us 3 and a bit streams to do it. And we're gonna go beyond 4K. We're gonna try to get to 4,500. Oh my god, I can't freaking type, dude. $38.15. Fuck ass Drowsy, bro. Only thing I wish is that this route had beyond like at least like one more Pokemon I can learn. So if there was like a Poliwhirl on this route or something instead of that Drowsy, so my chances were a little higher. But we will more likely than not get a Nidoran first phase, so hopefully it won't be too big of an issue. Also, the sprites for Nidoran in this game are pretty cool. More so Nidoran male than female. Like the horns and the thorns on Nidoran male are. It's a pretty cool Pokemon for a baby stage. Not a lot of baby stages do it as well as Nidoran male. I will give it that. That's a pretty cool Pokemon. Considering that's the first stage. Ugh. Ooh, my eyes are itching. Almost at 3,900 though for encounters on Route 35. I would say Nidoran encounters, but there's other things on this route than Nidoran. Technically, we haven't done that many Nidoran encounters. But roughly speaking, 60% of these encounters, or around 60% of these encounters, were probably Nidorans. Could be more, could be less. At 4,000, I'll take a little break, and then I'll round out the stream with the last 500 encounters. Alright. I'm gonna do 100 more, I'm gonna take a break, and then we'll do 500 more to wrap out the stream. Fingers crossed, you know, these next 600 will bless me up with something good. But to be fair, if this one also went over odds like the EV, I wouldn't be surprised, because again, my first 2 hunts were so lucky that I still feel like I might have some bad karma to pay back to this game before I get another decently quick hunt. And you know, if this one goes over odds, maybe I could bank some good karma for the hollow hunt that I'm going to do. So, whether this goes under odds or over odds, I'd be okay either way. Just as long as it doesn't go to, like, you know, some crazy, like, fucking, I don't know, 30,000 encounters, knock on wood. Then, like, that'll be fine. Or, like, even 20,000 would be a little OD, but... There we go. I feel like I haven't seen a Yanma in a minute. Jesus. I feel like I've only gotten like 2 or 3 Yanmas this entire stream. 65 more, I'm gonna take a little break. Waiting for that blue Nidoran to slide across the screen. The shiny one, specifically. That is technically a blue Nidoran, but not the one that I'm looking for. $39.64. Alright, 25 more, and then we're going to take a small little intermission, and then I will be back to, wrap up the stream with the final 500. And if we don't get it, I'm going to have to, it's going to be until either Thursday or Friday probably when I stream again, since I got school this week. But at the absolute least, we will have made quite a sizable dent in the encounters for this hunt, if it doesn't happen tonight. You know, it's better than nothing. Once this hunt's done though, bro, we're gonna be able to get through so much of the game. Like I will practically be able to play through the entirety of the Johto region up until I get to the Elite Four. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure, isn't encountering Ho-Oh a required part of this game? Yes, it is. So I guess when I am required to battle Ho-Oh is when, you know, my next hunt will be. But depending on how I'm feeling, that could be my last hunt. I might do a bonus hunt with Lugia at the very, very end when I get to all the way to red. But I guess I gotta see how I'm feeling then. Almost that big 4K. Almost halfway there to odds. Almost halfway there. Alright. This will be encounter number 4000. Alright. Nothing yet. But I'm going to take a small break. I will be back in about anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes to finish out the stream. We're going to do 500 more encounters, and we're going to call it a night. Alright, be right back. Alrighty. I think it's about time we wrap this up, huh? Oh, 1 second, sorry. All right, let's do 500 more encounters and call it a night. Unless we don't need to do 500 more encounters. And I say that all the time and it never happens, but hey. Well, most of us YouTube videos. Sorry, I'm like taking a lot of pauses here. I apologize. All right. Back at it. I'm seeing so many hunts of people getting their freaking shinies in the 3000s and 4000s. I'm like, like, come on, like, I'm there. Like, hook me up, Nidoran. Hook me up with a shiny. Did I miss that encounter count? Sorry. Oh my god, dude. I'm like the worst right now. Yeah, I did miss it. That's 4015. Okay. Sometimes you gotta check. So I got distracted for a second. I wasn't sure. Happy Sunday. You did Mercy Sunday Mass today. Nice. How was that? Getting close to half odds. Getting close. Sorry, I couldn't type, so my counter was a little janky for a second. Shiny Relicanth has a really nice shiny. Got a cool little blue going for it. $40.75. Almost at 4,100. I keep second guessing myself on some of these because most of the time I'm seeing the encounter pop up out of the corner of my eye since I'm updating the counter as it's going by the screen. And sometimes you keep thinking that there's sparkles that are popping up. But no, I think it's just the freaking animation happening so fast that it tricks me a little bit. Almost at half odds now. Or modern shiny odds. 4096 is modern shiny odds. It's not shiny odds in this game though. It's another Yama. I genuinely think I've only seen like 3 or 4 Yamas this stream. I can only remember 3, but there could have been one that I missed or something. Yamas have not been popping up. 4 more and we'll be at half odds. And there it is. Half odds has come. And half odds has gone. We've now passed half odds. Hats that the bug catchers were the One Piece half? Kinda. They do kind of look like the hat that Luffy wears. I don't disagree with that. Just a straw hat. Yeah. Are you saying that because there's a bug catcher at the top of the screen right now? Four triple one. God, I can't even freaking. There we go. Oh, it's that. Let's fuck that up. It's 40-31, by the way, sorry. I'm just 41-31, sorry. There we go. Skipping an ad on YouTube. Saw purple and I got excited, but then A, I forgot Ditto exists, B, I forgot Nidoran Male exists. Anyways, there's a lot of purple on this route that isn't shiny female Nidoran, so they're just waiting on the sparkles. Oh my god. God forbid I typed one number correctly. There we go. First needs to type the next one incorrectly as well before typing it right the second time. There we go. 4150 now. I really do hope when we get the shiny, it is a Nidoran. I've expressed confidence that I don't think I'm going to phase. Like I have enough confidence that I will hit the 60% chance first time around, but there is a pretty solid chance I won't, and then all that confidence will be for nothing. So still gotta hope that Nidoran, Oh, that was unintentional. I still gotta hope, it really is the first one to shine. Because if this takes a lot of encounters and then I have to phase because the first shiny isn't a Nidoran, that would kind of suck. But I will phase multiple. I will phase multiple times if it means getting this damn Nidoran because I literally need it to progress the story. Like if I get really unlucky with the phases and like I get a bunch of Pokemon that are what's it called? I get a bunch of Pokemon that aren't Nidoran as shinies, like 2 or 3 of them before I get a Nidoran, which would be very unlucky, by the way. Then yeah, that's like the only way that this might take longer than Eevee, but fingers crossed our first shiny is a Nidoran, which is a 60% chance. Fingers crossed that it doesn't take super duper long. Luffy from One Piece, yeah. Does look like Luffy from One Piece, I did say that. The bug catchers in their hat. Do the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Platinum better than BDSP? I never played BDSP, but from what I've heard, BDSP was kind of mediocre. I will say this. I have been one to describe playing Diamond and Pearl as more boring than watching paint dry, but that's kind of an exaggeration. The games aren't that bad, but compared to a lot of other Pokemon games, the original Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are kind of a little bit more boring than I feel like some of the other Pokemon games. The story is decent, but and Team Plasma I think as an organization is really well written, but there are some parts of the story that are really a drag, like the whole snowy area and having to go back and forth between so many different places throughout the story can get really confusing. And then the leveling in that game is horrific. like you'll get to the Elite Four with like level 50 Pokemon, assuming you don't do a crazy amount of grinding. You'll have to fight freaking level 67 Garchomp from Cynthia, which is diabolical. Which that's an issue they fixed in Platinum. Like Platinum by proxy was a better game because they fixed issues like that, like the leveling, and they added more Pokemon, which obviously is never gonna, in most cases, isn't gonna make the game worse. Also, we're now just about 4,000 away from odds. Like they did well in Platinum, I will say that. But I still think there are certain parts of the story that are like a drag. Like the whole snowy area in the Gen 4 games is so like boring that like it leaves a decently bad taste in my mouth for Gen 4. But I like a lot of other things about Gen 4. Like I don't think the story is like, other than that whole snowy area, it's not that boring, it's not that bad. Like I said, I have described the game as like watching paint dry, but it's not. I think that is an exaggeration. There are definitely certain parts of the story that are boring, and the grinding, and specifically Diamond and Pearl, is so egregious. But those issues were fixed in Platinum, and Platinum itself isn't a terrible game. But I will say Gen 4 overall, I think, is overrated. Also, this is my team so far. We got Fern. We got our shiny Crobat now, Melon, who I think looks awesome. We have Pistachio, our shiny Espeon. That is my team right now. It's pretty good for a 3-man team, I will say. Pretty good. I'm gonna do like 300-ish more encounters. I'm gonna get to 4,500 and I'm gonna call it a stream. Yeah, sorry for the whole Gen 4 rant. But I also have friends that just like really despise Gen 4. They think it's so boring. Like I'm not as adamant about that. I do think there are some aspects of Gen 4 that are good. Like Platinum is a pretty decent. It's a decent game. It does Gen 4 the most justice. But again, certain parts of the story are, I think, still too much of a drag. But it's not that bad of a game. I would play through Gen 4 again on Platinum and, you know, find enjoyment in it. Diamond and Platinum though were different stories. They're not as fun as Platinum. Because the leveling's awful, there's not as many team options, especially for fire types. Like if you don't choose Chimchar, you kinda get cucked. But Platinum did Gen 4 the most justice, I think, of any of the Gen 4 games. And if we're counting Legends of Arceus, that is the best Gen 4 game. It's not really Gen 4, but it's based in Sinnoh. And Legends of Arceus was a great, great game. I've never seen Shiny Huntail before. It's like a nice green and orange. And it's another case of a green shiny done right. That is actually a pretty solid shiny, considering it's green. Or 222. one of the most proud. This is probably the most proud I've ever been building a team. Like, I did a shiny only run on an Omega Ruby ROM, like completely off stream, just like on my own time, and it didn't take too long because I did some of the Gen 6 shiny hunting methods like Dex Nav and chain fishing and all that, and horde hunts, and it never really took me more than a day or two to get any of the shinies. Like, it was challenging. Like, I had to work for them still. Like, you know, I would be sitting there for a minute, you know, doing encounters, etc., etc., but it never really was a serious drag to do any of the hunts. Some of them definitely took longer than others. The only one that actually was kind of a drag was I got a shiny Bagon for my team. I got a shiny Salamence, and I had to Masuda method hunt, which that took a few days to complete, even on speed up and all that. But I made that team. I think was one of the coolest teams I've ever made. Like, I had shiny Blaziken, shiny Milotic, shiny Salamence. What else did I have? I have shiny Aggron. I'm trying to remember the full team. Shiny Salamence, shiny Blaziken, shiny Aggron, shiny Milotic. I don't think I had an electric type. Sorry, I'm like blanking on what the team was. Oh, shiny Gardevoir. I did have a shiny Gardevoir. Forgetting the last one I had. I'm trying to remember specific hunts I did. The Torchic was my first one. The Ralts was my second one. The Aron was my third one. Bagon I know was my last one. Jeez, what else did I... I'm like forgetting now. What was my last team member? It'll come to me. It'll come to me. I just like totally forgot what my last team member was. Oh yeah, Shift Tree. It was Shift Tree. I got a Shift Tree, because Shift Tree actually got a good moveset in Gen 6, so it was worth using. So yeah, I had Shift Tree, shiny Blaziken, shiny Gardevoir, shiny Milotic, shiny Salamence, and shiny Aggron. Literally a dream team. Like, that was, I guess you could literally have called it a shiny dream team quest, because I don't think there's a better team, or a team that I would have wanted to make more in those games. Like, that's like probably the best team I could think of, unless I hunted a shiny Beldum, like I had offer set for a shiny Beldum or something, because I think Steven gives you a gift one, but those only came post game. I wanted to at least use all of them in the Elite Four, which I did. And I will say, looking back, I was very proud of all those hunts, even though I was doing them on speed up. And even though, you know, I was doing shiny hunting methods that made the odds way better on top of doing speed up, I still would get happy and excited to, you know, see a shiny pop up. Despite that. Like, which is why I say that, like, shiny hunting is an individual journey. Like, if you want to use speed up, go for it. If you want to use shiny hunting methods, go for it. Whatever makes you happy to encounter a shiny. If you're happy to encounter the shiny that way, by lowering the odds and speeding up your game, then it makes you happy, and who cares what anybody else says? Like, shiny chaining makes, shiny dex nav chaining in those games makes shiny chances so low, so high. And even on speed up, I would sometimes get unlucky and have to, you know, take 2 days to, you know, of like active hunting to finally get one. Finally get the shiny. Which again is way less time than this. But I still felt good about getting each individual one of those shinies, and I still think it is. That team is probably one of the coolest teams I've ever made. But this team might end up being one that I'm like the proudest to make because the odds are obviously a lot worse. I'm still using speed up, but I'm not using any sort of shiny hunting methods to increase the odds. I'm just speeding up the encounters. It's 1 in 8, 192 every single time. And this will probably be the hardest I've ever had to work to make a team. It's not the first shiny only team I've made, but it'll be the first shiny only full odds team I've had to make. Well, not first full, because technically the starter was a 1 in 2730 because I was getting 3 encounters at the same time, and I'm gonna get the free shiny Gyarados, but still, that's more than half of the team at full odds, and one of them was a gift hunt, which, you know, those are never easy. And then one of them was still, you know, at not great odds. Only get one freebie, which is the Gyarados. And granted, in the Omega Ruby shiny only run I did on my own time, I still had to hunt Torchic at that game's full odds, which is 1 in 4096, but that's still better than this game. Technically, that was harder than the starter. Like, the starter I got in this game is technically easier than that hunt. But the other 2 hunts I've done, harder than that hunt. And I will say, the joy of getting a shiny at a 1 in 8, 192 chance, unrivaled. I've seen my fair share of 1 in 4096. And 1 in 8, 192 is where it's at. If you didn't know, now you know. Yeah. Sorry, random tangent, but yeah, in short, this team will probably be the proudest I will ever be to make a team, and will be the hardest I've ever worked to make a team. And will probably be one of my hardest challenges I've ever had to do, just because of the sheer amount of time and effort this took. But that shiny only team I made in Omega Ruby probably is still going to be my favorite team that I've ever made of all time. Despite the fact that it didn't take nearly the same amount of effort as this one is going to take. Less than 200 encounters to go, by the way, before I call it a stream. And if we don't get it this stream, fortunately, it's not going to be until, you know, later this week where I do another stream, because I got school. But we will probably get it this weekend, which is the good news. Probably, though. I can't promise it, because I don't know. You know, luck can work in mysterious ways. But, you know, we should get it this weekend. Also depends how many plans I make as well. That's another factor. So that'll obviously cut into stream time depending on what kind of plans I make this weekend as well. Watch somebody get a shiny female Mudkip in Pokemon, is it Ruby? Sapphire. Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Shiny female Mudkip. For those that don't know, shiny female starters in general are rarer than male starters. So 1 in 8 for a female starter. Getting a shiny female one is rare. And I've gotten, I think, how many shiny starters have I ever gotten? I've done all the ones in Oris. So that's 3. I've gotten 2 shiny Chikoritas ever. And I've gotten 1 shiny Cyndaquil as well. I think that's it. I believe that's it. I never shiny hunted a Gen 4. I kind of briefly started one in Gen 5 for the starters, but never completed it. Other than Oris, which isn't really technically Gen 6. But it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. But I'm talking about Kalos. I haven't done it. I haven't shiny hunted in Kalos. I started a shiny hunt for a Rowlet, but never finished it. That might be one I have to revisit and claim because Rowlet is my favorite Pokemon and favorite starter of all time. Gen 8 and Gen 9, I obviously haven't. I didn't pseudo method them or anything, so yeah. Yeah, I've found 6. I mean, and I guess if you count ED as a starter, which in one specific game it is, but it's not really considered a starter. But it has the same exact gender ratio as a starter. But in terms of literal starters, I've gotten 6 shiny starters ever. 2 Chikoritas, 1 Cyndaquil, and all of the Hoenn ones in Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. Or they might have been all in Omega Ruby, actually. I think they might have all been in Omega Ruby. Actually, no, I think my Mudkip might have been on Alpha Sapphire. I don't remember. But yeah. So I've gotten 6, and none of them have been female. Even the ED I did, which has the same exact gender ratio, wasn't female, so I feel like at some point soon if I ever do another one of these shiny only runs, which, you know what, maybe to rekindle some love I have for Gen 4, because despite the fact that I do think that Gen 4 is somewhat boring, I might give it another go. I might give Platinum another go to get a shiny Chimchar, because I do really like Chimchar. And the game isn't that bad, it's just, I think it's overrated. And also, there are some forgiving aspects of Pokemon Platinum. In terms of shiny hunting, well, there's one, and that's the forest. In Eternal Forest, you can technically, if you keep Cheryl with you, you can technically get 2 encounters at the same time, which will help. $150 encounters left, by the way, and God dang it, that's not what I meant. 150 encounters left, by the way, and I'm gonna call it a stream. Sorry, I've been yapping a whole lot about nothing. I guess is sort of my job. Yap about random shit. There's probably nobody that heard any of what I just said, but whatever. But yeah, if I ever do another shiny only run, it would either be in Fire Red or Pokemon Platinum. And I think I would lean towards platinum. As much as I bashed it in the past, it was sort of exaggerated. I think Gen 4 in the lens of platinum is a solid game. And I do like the Gen 4 Pokemon. And also why, even though I've bashed Gen 4 for some reason, I've kind of gotten the craving to play it again, which is very weird. Just because I haven't played it in a while. I could see myself doing a calm little shiny Chimchar hunt. The one risk with the starter hunts in Gen 4 is that when you I can't speak. When you do the hunts in Gen 4 for the starters, that shiny Starly you have to fight can be shiny. The shiny Starly you can fight at the beginning of the game can be shiny. Actually though, I think in Platinum, it might be different in Platinum, because I think the starter selection is slightly different in Platinum. Like, I think it forces you into the rival battle first. Like, I don't think you have to fight a Starly in Platinum. I could be completely misremembering, but I think in Diamond and Pearl you have to fight a Starly, and I think it just takes you into a rival battle in Platinum. Meaning that might actually not be a risk. And it's been a whole lot of nothing this stream, huh? In terms of the encounters. I was hoping maybe we get a little lucky. But clearly Nidoran had other plans. Which, you know, fair enough. That's another Yama, Jesus. Every time I see Yama, I get reminded of how long it's been since the last Yama. It takes so long, and then I forget about the fact that Yama can even spawn on this route. And then it shows up, I'm like, oh yeah. But I don't even think I've gotten more than 5 Yamas. I might have only gotten 4 of them this entire stream, which is crazy, considering the fact that they're a 1 in 100. And I've seen, like, now almost 1,300 Pokemon this stream. Let's hope my shiny luck isn't as bad as Yama luck right now. Alright, this will be 4,400 encounters. And this is where I was debating stopping, but you know what? Let's do one last 100. Get up to 4,500 before I leave for the week. And if it doesn't shine in these next 100, I'll be back to hopefully finish this hunt this weekend. First 10 of the 4400s. Never fails to amaze me how fast these encounters fly by. Alright. $80 more encounters now. 78 now. God dang it, I thought I ran. Christ. Quadruple fours, by the way. It's a cool encounter number. Alright. Now we have just 50 to go. Is Nidoran gonna make me wait until the very tail end of this night to be shiny, or is it gonna make me wait till later this weekend where we will hopefully get it then? Last 35 now. In all honesty, I wasn't super confident that I was going to get the shiny Nidoran today. I was hoping, but I didn't have the biggest hunch. But granted, my hunch wasn't very correct with the Eevee hunt anyway, so I'm not sure how much to go off of my hunch for these kind of things. It's not really accurate that often. Alright. And then there was just 25 left. The last 25. Oh, I guess we're getting one more Yama before stream ends. I'm pretty confident that'll be the last one. I really did not get a lot of Yamas tonight. I'm not sure if they have like a decreased chance at net or something, but I think it's the same. And I was getting a lot more earlier today. Maybe that's just compensation for how much I got earlier today. It's not giving me too many now. Just 7 left. Just 7 left. No, 6. Last 3. Could be 2 shinies this weekend. Only got one more chance though. That's the last one. It's not a shiny. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this stream. I've done 1,400 encounters. I've been hunting for like 3 hours, I think. It's a lot of hunting. Hunting for like 6 hours today total. No luck on the Nidoran yet. I think I still have some bad karma to get through, considering how lucky my Chikorita and my Zubat were. Because Eevee kind of made up for some of it by going slightly over odds, but I don't think it made up for all of the good karma I had. So I might get one more bad hunt, looks like. I mean, we don't know. We still got, 3,600 more, 3,700 more encounters to go. I think 3,692 to be exact. More encounters to go before Well, we get to odds, and it could very easily show up then. But I mean, shoot, if it doesn't, if it shows up over odds again, I mean, I wouldn't be the most surprised. And given how lucky I was with my first two hunts, the fact that EV, even though EV was over odds, it wasn't super over odds. Um, but yeah, we'll probably get this need around at some point this weekend because, as I said, I cannot hunt on Monday through Wednesday because I will be at school. But I probably will be back Thursday night, and if not, I will most likely be back Friday to start up this hunt again. And hopefully by next Sunday we will have gotten this need around, if not Saturday, if not Friday. But yeah, we at least got Evie this weekend, which I'm more than happy with, and gone through more than half odds for Nidoran. So we've made some really good progress on this hunt, and we got a shiny added to the team. After this Nidoran, all we really need to get is Ho-Oh, and we'll just be able to, do a calm little victory lap through the Johto and Kanto region, and maybe pick up Lugia as like a last hurrah, if I want to. But the more and more days that pass, I am thinking of doing that Lugia hunt at the very end of the game. Alright. Here's to hoping that we get shiny Nidoran this weekend. I'll see y'all in a few days.